Hey guys, go get yourself a mug from apollolegend.com so I can afford therapy for this video. Man, am I excited for this one. Just the other day I was browsing through some old speedrunning videos and I uncovered this relic on YouTube titled Wrong Warp from Zelda's Courtyard to the Credits. There was no other information to be found but the video itself and this description. What the video showed was some sort of wrong warp involving a timer, dying and reviving, playing Saria's song, and ultimately warping to the credits. This really piqued my interest, so I reached out to Skater to find out how he got this to work, but I didn't hear back from him. So I had quite the mystery on my hands. How exactly was this warp possible? With a lot of help from some Floro, Brad, and Fig, I was able to reverse engineer this video and come up with a legit method to warp from Zelda's Courtyard into the credits. Here's what I discovered. I've speedrun this game for a few years on and off, so I had some idea about what was going on here. To give you a really quick explanation of wrong warping, it's done by loading an area and cutscene which don't normally go together at the same time. While talking to Zelda in Zelda's Courtyard, this goddess cutscene will play. In Skater's video, he warps away at the same time the goddess cutscene starts. The result is the credits warp that you see. The big mystery was which area he was using since you don't see it in the video, but we knew it had something to do with the frozen timer in the corner. There are numerous timers that'll warp you across the game, and you can freeze these timers to use them for setups like this, which is what Skater did. Playing Saria's song will reactivate frozen timers, so when he played it in this video, it unfroze his timer and warped him somewhere at the same time the goddess cutscene started. I needed to find out which timer this was so I could attempt the warp. Right off the bat, I know people are going to be confused about me only having 2 hearts up here. That's because of the emulator I used to do this. Not everything displays quite right, but I do have 3 hearts. The game still runs the same, just some of the visual aspects are off. Okay. The only timer that I could think of that you could use as child was the collapse timer by warping to the collapse sequence and then warping out, so I routed this based off that assumption. From the video, I knew I needed a frozen timer, a slingshot, a bomb chew, a fairy, a fish, and Saria's song. This is really complicated because you need Zelda's letter to learn Saria's song, but to get Zelda's letter you have to watch the goddess cutscene, which we need for the wrong warp. So we can't play through the game normally, but we can wrong warp into Saria's cutscene as an adult and learn Saria's song that way, so that's what I opted for. First I did a west past this guy and went to Kakariko and got a bottle. I used infinite sword glitch and the Cuckoo cutscene to dive to the bottom of the well. I got through this water using actor glitch, then by grabbing these vines on the same frame the Skulltula hit me, I was able to clip out of bounds and swim to the bomb shoes. I made sure on my way out of Kakariko to stop by the grotto and grab a fish. It's critical that you use a fish for this route and not bugs, you'll see why later. I skipped the Door of Time and drew the Master Sword to turn into an adult. Then I did some magic in this water, which gave me a bottle on my B button. I made sure to do this with my empty bottle on C right, so this would give me another bottle in my inventory. This is a glitch called Reverse Bottle Adventure, where you write item values into your inventory based on what's on your C right and B buttons. We'll be using this to get a few other things. I went back to the Lost Woods and talked to Grog to get the odd mushroom and traded it for the potion. With the potion on my C right button, I recaptured my fish on B, which wrote the Song of Time into my inventory. I then made my way through the wasteland and got the Requiem of Spirit, which is necessary for freezing the collapse timer. At this point I still needed Saria's song, again without collecting Zelda's letter. To do this, I needed to go back in time, which meant I had to go beat Forest Temple, otherwise Sheik blocks you. So I got the hook shot, made it to the Forest Temple, and clipped through this ledge to skip into the boss room. I killed Phantom Ganon and stepped into the blue warp so Sheik would let me go back in time. I got a fairy, then went through Dodongo's cavern and killed King Dodongo. Back in the Temple of Time, I played the Song of Time to get rid of the Door of Time. With my fish on C right and an empty bottle on B, I went back in time. As child, I then re-grabbed the Master Sword with the fish on C right and 13 Deku Nuts on C down. That put Furore's Wind on my B button, which lets you use it outside of dungeons. I had to go get magic, then go back to Link's house and set Furore's Wind directly outside. And then I made my way back to Dodongo's cavern. On the same frame I touched the blue portal, I activated Furore's Wind and warped away as I beat the dungeon. This warped me into the Sacred Meadow where I finally got Saria's song. I went back in time again, I went through the Deku Tree, making sure to get the slingshot, killed Goma, and warped to the end of the game. I could have beaten the game at this point, but I didn't come here to beat the game, I came here for the timer. With infinite sword glitch and holding shield, I was able to jump and hover in midair. Then I did an ocarina dive and played the Requiem of Spirit. The only issue now is the collapse timer was still counting down, so I went to the edge of the map, and right as the timer reached 0, I voided out. Skater's timer was frozen at 0 seconds. I played another warp song which set it to 1 second, but the end result is the same. I was super happy at this point. I didn't know if this route was even possible going into this. Skater may have hacked in everything he needed for the warp, so I didn't know if this could be done legit or not. I was just glad that all this work wasn't for nothing. Now that I had everything I needed, I headed for Zelda's courtyard. I still didn't know how the warp worked, but I could finally start testing. What I found out is the main dilemma is making it through the first portion of the cutscene while maintaining control of Link and without getting warped away. First you need to shoot out this window and quickly turn around, then turn back around and talk to Zelda at the same time. This will let you keep control of Link for a moment. Use this opportunity to drop a bomb chew on Zelda, which will kill you. Let the fairy revive you, and then mash B really fast. If you do this fast enough, it'll delay the guard cutscene long enough for you to make it to this text box. You can take a moment to breathe here, and then recapture your fish at the same time you press A. Now mash through the text, and it warped me back to Dodongo's cavern. After all of that, I had the wrong timer. I wasn't going to make that mistake again, so I found the internal memory address, which determines where the warp timer sends you, and I solved this once and for all. Finally, I went to King Zora, I got the eyeball frog, I froze the timer again, I did the warp, and there it is. Easy warp, right from Zelda's courtyard to the credits. What an insane route. Isn't it crazy how broken this game is? It's stuff like this that makes this the best speed game. When you see just how detailed and interconnected everything is, you understand why new discoveries never stop in this game. There is still so much to be understood, and so much to be uncovered. Thanks again to everyone who helped me with this, either personally or by making guides and tutorials. I would have been completely hopeless trying to figure this out alone. Let me know if you guys want me to make more in-depth videos like this one. I really enjoyed it and could probably do more like it. Alright guys, the rest of the video is going to be a task I made, but this is it for the commentary. I love you all. Take care.
The space station's airlock is open by turning off the 3 generators. I purchased Agent Extra and Mr. Gex tickets for a long, relaxing cruise. Mr. Gex kindly offered me the use of his desert island. He thinks that he rescued Extra all by himself, but we all know that he couldn't possibly have done it without my help. Those jolly clever people at Crystal Dynamics and Crave Entertainment would like to thank you for playing. Mr. Gex and I will return soon. Ta-ta for now.